Time now for another CSI Dairy Mystery on Dairyline Radio.
This week's mystery, milk fat depression and healthy cows, with Elliot Block, Senior Manager of Technology at Arm & Hammer Animal Nutrition. A dairy producer that Elliot had worked with for 10 years, Gary, said butterfat levels continue to fall, and I can't figure out why.
Well, one of the first things I do is I sit down with the producer. I sat down with Gary in this instance, and we went over his records to see where he's been as far as productivity, where he is now, what the historical perspective is, to really determine, how desperate, quote unquote, the problem really is. Then we'll go walk the farm. We'll take a look at feed. I'll see what he has available, take a look at the diet, some of the physical aspects, and then we'll start sitting down with rations to see if there's anything there to look at.
While inspecting the ration, Elliot also conducted a Penn State shaker box test to evaluate ration particle size.
A lot of these rations, a lot of these total diets put in front of cows look okay, but once you do a shaker box on them, you realize that the forage particles are way too fine, and that could be just an indication that something could go wrong if it hasn't gone wrong already.
Elliot could sense Gary's frustration. The cows looked healthy, and the ration looked good.
Well, this is where, I was starting to get frustrated as well, because, the classical milk fat depression, you can pretty much guarantee yourself you have more laminitis, you have some acidosis going on, you've got slightly reduced feed intakes. But these cows, they just looked like stars. You didn't see any foot problems. They were all ruminating. Didn't seem to be huge issues with them. We took a look at the fiber levels, the starch levels, anything and everything that we've normally associated with milk fat depression. We couldn't find a darn thing.
Elliot realized that evaluating free fatty acid levels in the diet, high levels of corn byproducts can have a high and variable amount of free fatty acids.
Exactly. I was looking at his rations based on what the paper output, the ration formulation output stated. Obviously, there was something wrong there that was not getting captured on paper. In the end, after you'll hear my what we finally did and how we resolved it, I really do believe that the fatty acid levels of some of these corn byproducts that he was feeding was much higher than actually put down on paper.
Next week, the follow-up visit to Gary's farm from Elliot Block, Senior Manager of Technology at Arm & Hammer Animal Nutrition, on a cow-side investigation into the mystery of milk fat depression in healthy cows.
This has been another CSI Dairy Mystery on Dairyline Radio. Each week, we check the case files of lead dairy investigators to uncover another CSI Dairy Mystery.